Hello everybody, my name is Jan Dufour and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live just outside of Louisville, Kentucky. If you've been following me, you know that I have taken a picture of our card maps that are in our new 2024-20 to 25 yearly annual catalog. And I've been blowing them up and I've been figuring out the measurements because they don't come with measurements. And we are up to card map 10 and 11. So we're halfway through. If you want to see any of the other ones that I've made, along with project sheets for each of them, you can go to my website. It's stampmesilly.com. If you have any questions or if you'd like a free catalog, you can contact me at jandufour@yahoo.com. And if there's anything you see that you'd like to purchase and you don't already have a demonstrator, you can go ahead and go to my online store at jandufour.stampinup.net. Thanks for stopping by and following along. If you've been enjoying these card maps as much as I have, comment below. It's been great, and now that I have these project sheets, this is kind of what the project sheet looks like with all the measurements. It's been real easy to go back and copy them using totally different paper, totally different sentiments, and it's just been wonderful. So I'm very happy to do this. I hope you're enjoying them as well. Today we're going to be using Simply Said. It's got some great sentiments on there. Some just straight with a simple, which is what I used here, and then some with a little bit of thickness that kind of fills up space better there. Now I've looked back at the ones that I've been doing, and I've noticed that pretty much the only stamping I've been doing is sentiments, which is okay, because our DSP speaks for itself. It's beautiful, but I think next week I have an opportunity where I could actually do some stamping, and I will probably be doing that. So check back. I post once a week on Wednesdays, unless there's a flash sale, and then I might contact you again. So let's make card map number 10. I've got all of this stuff that I need. I even made a different version playing around. Sometimes I do that. I made this one, and of course it's very similar. I used twine instead of ribbon. I used a lighter color. I was just trying it out. The measurements are a little bit different. I'm happier with this one. So that's why I recreated another one. The paper that I'm using, here's the ribbon. The paper that I'm using is our Brights DSP. They're 6x6. They come in all of the colors in our bright color palette. This one I'm using here is Pool Party. The one that I'm doing on card map 11 is Blueberry Bushel. So that's where I got the paper. I did want to take a piece of paper. Let me put these aside and show you a couple of tricks. Now I already have a piece cut out and ready to go to make this, so we don't make it take too long. But I wanted to mention that as you're cutting out these pieces, you get enough for a full one card, and then you get enough of, let's see if I can show you using, I'll use these, they're different colors, but you can get another square, I think. Well, eventually you can. You can get a second square. This one's bigger. But you can't get a second, which is just the flip side of that, of these. But you do get a strip that is the same height. I guess it's these here. You can do this because nobody can see the back. So just an FYI, the measurements aren't quite right, but you can take those extra two pieces. So you can get two cards out of a 6x6 piece of paper, which was what I was getting at. Not very eloquently, but I was getting there. All right, so we need the thank you, which we have. I'm using these faceted gems on this one, iridescent faceted gems. On the other one that I did with the green, I actually used the adhesive backed transparent dots. wanted to give you all of that information. The project sheet does have the information that we used. Now you'll notice there is some dimension here because of the ribbon. If you use twine, it's not so important as far as whether or not you have it elevated. With the using the ribbon, you really have to elevate them. So all I did was I went across, this is 12 inches. I went across and made sure that my ends would stick out, which they do on this. And I took a glue dot and just put it on the ribbon to kind of catch it, so I don't have to try to mess with it each time I'm, oops, oh, I thought it did. Hang on. Did it not come off? It did not come off. All right, let's try this again. Don't you love it when they struggle while they're making something? Okay, here's where I want the glue dot. And let's see if I can't. It came off and then went back on. That was confusing. Did it go? Yeah. All right, there we go. And you're just kind of plopping it on there so that it will stay looping out. And you, of course, you want the same to happen coming back. So you use another glue dot for that. Let's pull it back and see if I can't get it to stick the first time. I did. Yay me. All right. So that kind of lays it down. And of course you want it this way, or I want it this way. I don't know how you want it. And then you can still adjust it. Like I made the loop a little bit too big. So I'm just going to pull off the back one. These glue dots really stick. And just slide it down a little bit. I want it to be, there we go. And then what I did, I took out some dimensionals. I knew that it was going to be this piece that would need the dimension. This is glued directly on the card. So I kind of went like this and put a bunch. And I don't know if I'm mailing this or not. When you mail it, you should definitely putting this kind of in the middle. Trying to scoot that a little. I'm putting them so that it's partially holding the ribbon and partially holding that, because you definitely need something in the middle. All right, then I went back to this, kind of decided where, and have an extra dimensional, kind of decided where I wanted this to be. And you can go ahead and glue that down. And there's no, you can put it at the bottom and have the whole thing here with the sentiment on top. You could have a dead center. I just decided I wanted it a little bit above, and I am trying to follow the maps a little bit. And you just put it evenly across both ways. You would want to stamp your sentiment before you put this on. And I'll just get this ready to go. So we can just slap it on there. Because that dimension will get in the way. So again, we're using Poppy Parade for this one. And, whoops, that's upside down. That would be fun. I am just putting this on, and because it's photopolymer, I can see. Now remember, you're going to have to come down here because the paper comes down about this far. So I keep that in mind. And of course, you could lay the paper down before you, not with dimensionals, but without the dimensionals, just to see about where you want to put this. But then I'm just going to turn it around and center this. Not quite where I want it. Let's see. Right about there. Get my, there. And then you can kind of pull on your, pull on the ribbon. And then I think I'll clip this side a little bit since the other side is shorter. We'll leave it like that. And then I put some gems on it. These are really pretty, but they are rather, oh, I think I have a smaller strip of this somewhere. Apparently not. Why don't I use these since I've got them right here? These are also bumpy, I call them. When you look at the description of our gems, they will say, oh, here they are. Which ones? White? They're about the same. I'll use these since that's what's on the instructions. It says whether or not they're flat. If they're sequins, then you know they're definitely flat. And that's just better for mailing. You can mail these. What I usually recommend is to put another piece of cardstock on top of where the gems are, mostly so it doesn't get caught when it goes through the automatic stamp machine thingy they have at the post office. And as you can see, as long as you don't press these down, these are still kind of movable. Push that up a little bit. All right, there we go. All right, and there's card 1. We'll put that aside. Put our tools away. If you do put the additional piece of cardstock over it, make sure you weigh your card. Now, this card does not have enough stuff on it for it to be too heavy. The first ounce is the size you're looking for. It's when you start adding additional pieces to it that you can run into a problem. So just be aware of that. All right, our second card is also a thanks. I really needed thank you cards, which is the whole reason why I was doing thank yous this week. I showed this trick a bit ago, couple cards, more than a couple cards back. When you're trying to make things, and these are, the measurements are, the whole thing starts with, I don't know where the piece goes. This one maybe. Yeah. So the whole piece is 4 1/4 by 1 1/2. And then you go ahead and you cut off 1 3/8 to get this piece. So you end up with 2 sets of these. And of course you can put them any way you want. I think I'm going to do the opposite of what I did on this card. I had the bigger pieces be the flowers. And I think this time I'm going to do the bigger pieces being the stripes, just to give you an idea of the difference. When you're trying to put something that does not go all the way across the card, it's rather simple to say, okay, that's about 1/4 of an inch away or 1/8 of an inch away if you want it closer, and space it. But when you're trying to leave a larger border on the edge like this and get these spaced in the half, sometimes it's just easier to use a scrap piece of paper. So this will fit exactly. So this is actually 3 by 4 1/4. So I am basically completely filling up this scrap piece, and it gives a little bit of dimension on the card, which is another reason to use it. So you just actually put it right up. So it's right on the edge, and that makes it very simple. And we'll put this one here. And this paper is not dimensional. They got flowers going in every direction, but I kind of still look and see what I think would look best. So see, it was very easy lining those up on the edges. And then on this one, again, we're just putting it right along the edges and matching it up. And while the glue is wet, you can kind of wiggle it around if you need to. This is going to look a little bit different. Am I doing this right? Yeah. So just to see, oops, no, I can't do that. I have to do it this way. All right. Now this one has a little bit of white peeking in. I don't know. I didn't go over there. And it's just did not cut it exactly right. I don't know that that's going to show, but if it really drives you crazy, then you can go ahead and square it up a little bit. I wouldn't worry too much about it because, like I said, it's white. It doesn't really show because you don't want to get a real uneven edge. There you go for that. And you can either put this on dimensionals or not. There's already a little bit of dimension. If you wanted to really make full dimension without using dimensionals, cut 3 or 4 of these plain white, basic white cardstock. Kind of looking at all 4. If you have 3 edges correct, the 4th one will be correct. I'm kind of really focusing on those. And then our sentiment again is thanks, and we're using Blueberry Bushel. And I cut 2 pieces because I'm overly cautious. When you're doing this, I never refilm, so we can't do that. If I do a really bad job stamping it, first of all, paper always has 2 sides. But I did it okay, but I wanted an extra piece just in case. So I'll tuck that away. Use that for something else. I wanted to mention a little tip here. Some of our darker colors they're all dye based, but some of them take a little bit longer to dry. A Blueberry Bushel is one of them. It's dry now. Another one is Cherry Cobbler. It's one of my favorite cards. Colors. I use it at Christmas all the time, but I have to always remind myself it doesn't dry instantly. It doesn't take long. It's, a matter of a second or 2. But if you stamp something and throw it on there, oops, let go. It can smear, so you have to be careful. I don't know if y'all are hearing my husband sneeze. I apologize. He can't help it. He has a cold. He doesn't feel poorly, but actually it's not a cold, it's a sinus infection. So he's on medication, he'll be fine. But there you go. Here's card map number 11. And they do look different. But anyway, it's a way of mixing and matching. Of course, you can always, if you don't like the back of one of the colors, you can always use other colors as well. This is a great card for scraps. So here we go. I don't know what I did. Oh, there we go. Another red one, and then here, just for fun, a green one. I hope you enjoyed this card map one. Next week, I will be doing a little bit more stamping. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I will find something. Make sure if you want the project sheet to go to my blog, stampmesilly.com. If you have any questions, it's jandufour@yahoo.com. Thanks for stopping by. Consider subscribing so you get these every week. Bye.